Good evening, everyone. So, Happy New Year officially. Happy New Year. Welcome to our year of flight. Yeah, this year we'll be flying on eagle's wings. So, I'm happy to see you guys. It's been a while since October. Wow, wow, wow. So, we thank God for bringing us to this new year. So, tell your friends that we've gone live. Today's topic is a very special one. So tell your friends that we've gone live. Yeah. Okay. So this is our first session for the year. Yeah, first session. Once again, my name is Ifunanya. I'm a certified relationship coach. I'm founder, lead consultant, the Almond brand, a special brand that God gave me. The name is very peculiar for many reasons. In fact, for one particular reason. That as Aaron's rod sprouted overnight, so shall your relationship, so shall your soul, and we'll be talking about your soul today, so shall it burn overnight, no matter the state that it's in. So, I bring in greetings from everyone at the Almond brand. Yours truly. We'll be talking about a special topic tonight with a special coach that God brought my path last year. I took his Evolve class for entrepreneurs, and by the special grace of God, he taught more than entrepreneurship. So he's a purpose discovery coach. I would like to call him Africa's #1 purpose discovery coach. Yes, you cannot come across Mr. Noah AfeOluwape, also called Mr. Purpose International Part, and your life actually remains the same. No, it's not possible. So while we're still waiting for others to join, just send a message to them that we've gone live. It's not a topic for you to miss. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Word of God said that I wish that you prosper, even as your soul prospers. Oftentimes we think the soul is this spirit, this but actually it's talking about your personality, your mind. God cherish our soul more than anything. I say heaven rejoices when a soul is being won. Meaning that even your mind. I also believe that the first thing that should be won to God will even start from your mind, not just even your physical body. It starts from your mind. The moment you say that I'm giving my life to Christ, it was a decision you made in your mind, and that is your soul going through. So oftentimes when we have breakup, it starts with the mind. It starts crashing, and that's what we'll be discussing tonight. Fill up after a breakup course. Fill up after a breakup. Fill up after a breakup. Don't mind me. I'm really using study time for our course, about this class. So if you had it, good, hooray, hooray. There's a course attached to this. So for you to take it more, today that's actually a serious thing. So yeah. You have to lose yourself after a breakup. You have to start afresh. You have to crumble. Do you have to hide yourself? All these questions will be answered tonight by Mr. Purpose International. It's real. So while we're still waiting for him to join, enjoy my music. God gave me this music tonight to tell everyone that we should actually stand up. If you're hiding after a breakup, this is a ministration. I need to wake up. I need to stand up. But let's leave that for our guest tonight. Let's leave that. So I'm trying to invite him. Hopefully, IG does not do some funny things tonight. I'm waiting for him to join the invite. Yes, I love Yoruba music. Even if I don't see almost everything, but still, God understands all language, so it's spiritual. Spiritual. So we are still waiting for him to join us. Okay, so our guest is here with us. Let's send him another invite again. So, Mr. Pupus, I sent you an invite. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Pupus.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Happy
sir.
you from this side of town.
Same here, sir. Same
And
here.
thanks for having me on your show. I believe we can call it a show, right? We can call it the Almond Brand.
Yeah, we can. We can. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've already done a brief introduction, just a brief one, but everybody,
Okay.
this is Mr. Purpose International Africans #1 Purpose Discovery Coach. Yes.
Yeah.
So we are taking it outside Nigeria. We're not doing only Nigeria. We're taking it around the world. So like I said, I joined Evolve class last year, and from there, let's just say it has been flights all the way. So
Praise
God
God.
has been grateful through him. So let's just say that it does beyond entrepreneurship. So don't be deceived that just this is deep. Is deep. So as we're having him tonight, I hope everybody are with your pen and biro. If your heart is broken, just hold your book and pen.
Or anyone
Okay.
who is scared to get into a relationship, if you want to
Yes,
also avoid
please.
a heartbreak, this is also going to be very helpful to you.
Yeah.
Because I know we've not gotten into the conversation officially, but you see, one of the reasons why breakups happen is because people that enter relationships, either one or both of them, were already broken, and a broken person will break things,
Yes.
right? So tonight we're going to be addressing maybe three kinds of people: the person who has not yet entered a relationship, the person who is in a situationship or a relationship that is not supposed to continue, and someone whose heart has already been shattered, battered, and the person feels like I'm scattered already. And also maybe a fourth category of people, those who have a healthy self-esteem, will just speak a bit into those kind of people. But we'll stay with the subject, how to heal up after a breakup.
So
those are the people we're here for.
Yeah, so everybody, let me read Mr. Noah's profile. So Noah Toluleke, I hope I pronounced your name properly.
You're trying.
Okay. AfeOluwape, popularly known as Mr. Purpose, is an amazing man with multidimensional gifts. He's an anointed, highly sought after, impactful purpose preacher, a certified self-discovery and purpose mastery coach, leadership consultant, professional trainer, author, CNS coach. In 2009, he founded the Purpose Center, TPC, a ministry committed to the spread of knowledge and how to discover and fulfill God's purpose. Through TPC, he founded a teen-centered social enterprise with a focus to boost and aid themes, self-discovery and leadership development by holding inspirational educational seminars across secondary schools. It has held well over 350 life-transforming seminars since 2009 till date. He's the lead facilitator of the Purpose School, now known as the Purpose Discovery Academy, Nigeria's premier and leading purpose mastery and leadership school for teens and young people. The testimonies from the Purpose School are phenomenal due to the unique courses that solve the identity crisis problem most children and teens have in their early years. Through these platforms, he has impacted well over 40,000 young people with his inspiring messages of purpose discovery and godly leadership values. As a leadership consultant, he wrote the leadership curriculum used by Lagos and Empowerment Resource Network, LEARN, the NGO of Her Excellency, the former First Lady of Lagos State, Dem Abimbola Fashola, and was also head of the team that taught the teens across 7 learning centers using the leadership curriculum from 2009 to 2014. Due to his commitment in youth development, he was given an award by the Rotary Club in 2012. TPC was also given an award as the best teen inspirational and motivational organization. Among some of his personal awards, he was given we need to finish it. We need to finish it. It was don't worry, we're almost there. He's giving one, okay, amongst one of his personal awards is one given to him by his church, David Christian Center, as the best male caregiver in children's church, where he once served as a volunteer. He is prosperously married to his favorite human being in the world, whom he calls my favorita. You need to meet this lady, guys. You need to meet this woman. Mrs. Purpose, I wish she was here, but don't worry, we'll send her hi. Yes, you can tap the anointing from the picture. And they are blessed with 2 adorable children who make up the Purpose family. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Purpose International.
Thank you very much for the honor of reading the profile. I didn't know you had that profile. Wow, you read it from the beginning. Thank you so much. In fact, I'm very honored. I'm very honored. Thank you. Thank you. All right, but everything in that profile is true to the glory of God. So we give all the glory to God, but that's not a profile that was made up, you know. So before we even start, I want to challenge everybody watching this video to do this simple exercise that will push you to live your best life. And the exercise is to write your own obituary, right? Write your own obituary. The day you leave this world, what is going to be said about you? A lot of times, what is said at people's graveside is not what they actually did with their lives. People just come up with nice things. So, but if you write your own obituary, you paste it on a wall, then you tell yourself every day. Can you hear me? You tell yourself You tell yourself every day another reason to push, another reason to go again, another reason to come out of that bad relationship if you're in one and live your best life. So thank you for the honor of reading that from start to the end. God bless you. So let's get right into it. What are we talking about What are we talking about? What motivated this topic, by the way?
How to, you say? I did not get your question.
I said, what motivated this topic?
Ah, okay. What motivated this topic actually? I think it came from numerous messages. I don't know what happened, but between probably August or September, let's say, I got a lot of messages that, Ma, so I'm going through heartbreak right now. How can I recover? Ma, I'm going through this. How can I recover? And the funny thing was, at that time, I was holding on to it, but my book, Violent Roses, I was like, it's not yet time. Until I spoke to you about it, that I'm writing a book. At that moment, I've not even started writing the book. When you now said, okay, you are also doing something like, let me challenge myself to finish it within 1 month. So I think so what prompted this was, I think a lot of people don't know who to talk to. We're just all fighting, giving ourselves advice. Yes, and I don't think that's actually correct. If you're just the one talking to yourself, you can mislead yourself.
Definitely.
Yes.
Can you give me 60 seconds to quickly correct something on my network so that we don't go?
Yes.
So I don't. Please, thank you. 60 seconds. All right.
Okay. And he'll come back soon. It's probably just a network glitch. Yeah. So how are we doing this evening, people of God? I just hold on for him to come back. Let's hold on for it. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I hope you are. So so one of the things he asked was what prompted this particular topic. And the funny thing was when people were asking this thing, he just said, Ifunanya, that is Mr. Purpose International, just said, he just sent me a flyer and said, you look after a record. So he's even the engineer, like he's the brain behind this, because believe me, I'll probably not even come out to say anything. So let's just give God the glory that he's here to actually help us through this journey. And yes, he's here to help us through this journey by special grace of God. So let us wait. It's probably a network glitch, but at the meantime, if I'm to give my own perspective, okay?
Back now. And
Okay.
sorry.
Welcome back.
You were saying.
I was telling them of how when people were sending me that message and I just kept quiet, and you now sent me a flyer, heal up after a breakup. I was like, like you just sent it, whether you like it or not, you're already on the flyer. Kindly go and treat something like that. So I was like, this can only be God that is actually saying I should go and actually teach on this. So that was how this actually came.
Okay, so what would you have me say, or how do you want us to? I have something here prepared, but I want us to.
Yeah.
I want this to be very conversational. So
yeah.
you take.
So if I'm yeah, okay. So I'll ask you a series of questions, then you can go with the flow from there.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes. So will you like to start to share a personal experience of heartbreak?
All
Yes,
right.
let's start with that.
Okay. I don't know if you have seen this movie way back. Why do fools fall in love? There
Oh
was a
wow.
movie like that.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it before.
Why do fools fall in love? And my simple answer to that is because they are fools in the first place. So
Wow.
they they, they fall in love because the concept of love, has been tainted and stained by Hollywood, Bollywood, and now even Nollywood has joined the list of movie makers who paint love as something we can't control. We fall in love. I think it's an accident. Nobody falls by no, you don't intentionally fall. If you're going to experience a fall, it's either you didn't see a stone, you didn't see a hurdle, your leg hits the hurdle, so you trip, right? So using that phrase, that terminology, oh, I'm falling in love with this girl, or I'm falling in love with this guy, that concept on its own is a worldly concept. And it sets you up to have a heartbreak. We don't fall
Mm.
in love in the kingdom. We choose who we love, then we grow in love. We stay in love and we grow in love, right? Love is like a seed you plant in a garden, then you water it. So you don't fall in love. Nobody accidentally uh, reaps a harvest. So the second thing I want to say, this is particularly directed at young ladies because we are practically 11 days from Valentine's Day, and I see you're already wearing red. Your lips are
Of
red.
course.
Everywhere.
No, no, no. I actually wore the red because of we are talking about issue of hearts. So that's why I wore
Yes,
the red. You can see my name is even red. Sef.
I tried to match you with the red, but I didn't find a red shirt. So I hope this works. So this is to any lady out there, don't let a fool kiss you, and don't let a kiss fool you as well. Okay. So, you know, as a teenager, let me start with two personal experiences. As a teenager, I used to like to watch those Mexican soap operas. In fact, as a boy, I grew up watching uh, The Wild Rose, The Secrets of the Sand, which might be strange to this generation, the Gen Zs and the millennials. Secrets of the Sand, The Rich Also Cry, and there was one
I
very
think I
popular one.
watched that.
There was one
I read.
one, Diego and Paloma, Cuando se esmía, uh, which is translated in English, When You Were Mine.
Yeah.
Watching all of these Mexican soap operas was doing something to me that I was not even aware of. It was damaging my psychology. It was giving me a false expectation of what a romantic relationship should be like. So I did not know that I had left my heart unguarded and had allowed weeds to infest my heart. Because as a human being, you are firstly a spirit being. You are first a spirit. You have a soul and you live in a body. I'm going to mix all of this with purpose and self-discovery so that a lot of people falling in love out there will discover why they entered what I call the love web, the love trap, right? Love in
Yeah.
itself is a beautiful thing, but love is like a Ferrari car, extremely beautiful aesthetics, extremely fast, but you have to be dexterous with your driving skill. If you don't know how to drive, buying a Ferrari is like buying yourself a coffin. It's like deciding to commit personal suicide. So you see a lot of people whose hearts are in very unhealthy states enter into relationship and they are excited at the beginning, but they are on a fast lane to nowhere. So definitely there will be a breakup along the way. So when I was a boy, I watched all those soap operas, and because I was not even aware I had a low self-esteem issue at that time, right? I was hoping that there was a particular girl I liked as a teenage boy, and I had zero knowledge about what relationships would be like. So she was giving me the vibes. This was in my teenage years. She was giving me the vibes. We're in the same local church at that time. She was giving me the vibes and all of that. But as a new convert, I was on fire for the Lord. I had zero knowledge about romantic relationship and girls. But you see, I had set my mind on fire from like the age of 8 with all these movies that I had watched. And I had a faulty concept at that time that I want to get into a relationship maybe at the age of 10 or 12, and then be in that relationship till 25 with whoever, with the girl that I'll get into a relationship with. And where did that come from? That came from a soap opera that I watched, which was I think this particular one that had Radames Basanta. I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember right now, but it was just two characters, Radames Basanta, and sorry, Ohe de la Rosa, and the female, the lead female character. So they were lovers from when they were children, and they almost got married and had some heartbreak issues. So that became an expectation in my subconscious. So there was this girl, liked her, but I never said anything about how I felt. But I just thought that we vibed. But after some time, another guy came into the picture, and he was already a bad boy. He was already very exposed. So he knew how to strike the chords. And I discovered that this my situationship girlfriend. I didn't ask her out, but we just knew we had a vibe where we were always seen together talking and all of that. And people thought we were an item. But this guy just came into the picture and scattered everything. He just brought blues to my reggae, or put reggae in my blues. And I discovered that the affection that she was giving me began to, she transferred it to him, because he was more head on, he was upfront, and I was now on a race against time to get my lover back. But you see, she was being given gifts. This guy he knew what to do to make her. So I started chasing her. There's this romantic series, James Hadley Chase. I don't know if you ever read the James Hadley Chase romantic. Those were the novels in our time. James Hadley Chase. So I began to chase after her. And my God, I made some stupid decisions. This is the first time I'm sharing this publicly. I can't forget the date. June 2nd, the year 2001. Yes, the year 2001. I left Lagos to this girl's school in Osun State. I drove my mother to church. Listen, I drove my mother to church. We're having what is called a juvenile harvest. So it was like a celebration of children that Sunday. So I looked at the time. We got to church at to 10. I parked the car and I set out to go to Osun State. It was her birthday as well. So I wanted to go win her heart. So I bought gifts from Lagos, and I timed it that okay, if I go to Osun State, I should make it back to Lagos before 6 p.m. That's why I said, why do fools fall in love? They are fools in the first place. So here was I on a love mission to get back my one true love. And this girl, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I got to the front of her gate, and I got the shocker of my life, the gate of her school. I won't mention the name of the school so nobody will know who I'm talking about. Those who know, but some people know the story from my past. I called down the phone. She picks the phone and tells me I'm not in school, because they told me at the gate that I have to call the student I want to see, and she has to confirm that she knows me. It was not just the gates of her that were barricaded. Even the school gate was locked from me getting out. And then she did not come out. She told me, I didn't ask you to come. I said, okay, you didn't ask me to come. I'm already here. I have a birthday gift for you. 30 minutes, she didn't come out. 1 hour, she didn't come out. 2 hours, she didn't come out. 3 hours, she refused to come out. 4 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, thank God. Now, that was the season where MTN did not have 100 naira credits for sale. They didn't even have 500. The least amount of credit MTN was selling was 750 and 1,005. And here I was. I left Lagos with maybe about 3,000. My transport fare was factored in, and money to take her out on a date. I was a fool at that time because she was already giving me red lights. You know what the red light means when you are driving? That means don't move, don't come,
Yes,
right?
don't move,
So
yes.
yeah, I'm going to draw out some points from this story. Now, when it was almost 4 o'clock, I got to Osun State around 12:30. This girl refused to come out till it was 4:30.
Wow.
I felt like dying. In fact, I heard voices that they tell me, you see that trailer coming, jump in front of it. You are good for nothing. You are useless. Honestly, I started hearing all sorts of things. I felt what a lot of young people feel today. Depression. I felt as if I was a non-entity. Now people treat me like a celebrity, but that day I felt all manner of emotion. In fact, the scripture that came to my heart that day was this scripture that described Jesus, that he came unto his own and his own rejected him.
You always have something to use as backup.
You know, because genuinely I loved this girl. Honestly, let me say I felt I loved her. And I knew that this other guy was going to break her heart. Guess what? 2 years down the line, the guy broke her heart. He slept with her, disvirgined her, and, moved on to another person, because that was the reputation we already knew he had. And then there's also this school of thought: good girls that like bad boys. Yeah. There are many good girls that, like bad guys. They know how to turn on the flame, to light up the gas. Are you a cooking gas? That's the question I will ask the lady. Are you a burner that should be ignited? So that story, my mother, somebody else had to drive her home. I got home around past 8. I couldn't meet up. So my mother was asking me, where did you go to? Till today, she still does not know where. I think I went on evangelism.
How do you want to explain?
I told her I went to seek the one soul Jesus said was lost. There was 99 sheep that was safe. I went after one soul. And you see, so that was one negative experience. It knocked sense into me that, number one, there's nothing you can do to force somebody into a relationship with you. If their heart is not open towards you, there is no need to stay where you are tolerated. That's the first point I want to start with. Don't stay where you are tolerated. Stay and go to where you are celebrated, right? So I think we should even begin with how to avoid breakups. A lot of people avoid the red flags or the potholes. When you're driving in Lagos, you have to be looking out for potholes. You have to be looking out for the traffic lights. If it turns red, it means to stop. But you see, some people, they will see the red lights that this lady or this guy does not send me, yet they will put on. That's when they'll put all their love motions in gear 6, not even 5 now. They will press on for guys. That's when they will start buying gifts. They'll start doing things that they normally would not do in the name of I'm in love. Second point, love does not do stupid, irrational things. I was not in love with that lady. I was in an infatuation. I was more like in infatuation. And secondly, or rather thirdly, if you don't love yourself, you are going to negotiate badly. You are going to sell yourself short of the true value you command. Imagine me doing that to myself at that time. It was more because my self-discovery process was not yet complete. My self-worth, my self-evaluation, the evaluation of myself was not, I didn't place myself on a good scale. I felt I needed this person in my life to make me complete, to make me feel like a man. So there are many foundations that are faulty to build relationships on. So once those foundations are not there, there are 7 foundations every relationship should have, but I'm not going to talk about that today. 7 foundations every relationship should have. Healthy relationships that withstand the storm, right? But let me just leave that aside. Then the second relationship I want to talk about, the experience I had, I was now more mature. This was 2012, right? I had discovered myself, I discovered my purpose, I discovered my vision. The purpose center was even like a second year, and I met this fantastic young lady, a pastor's daughter. She was also doing her master's at that time. She was the last one of her family. She was doing very well in terms of, let's say, social forms, right? You could say she's from a rich home, and then I'm from maybe just a middle class home. If we're looking at statistics, natural statistics. So, but the primary reason she, in fact, is coming to a relationship with me was my spirituality, my vision, confidence. She listed many things out like, oh wow, she has not met this kind of great guy before. I said, wonderful, fantastic. So save time, when we got into the relationship proper, we're now like 4 months, 5 months into it. And I said, okay, when are you going to introduce me to your father, to your dad? And then she brings up, let me say, a rabbit from her magic hat. A condition was given to me that if I don't start my master's degree program, she's not going to introduce me to her father. I said, wow. I said, say that again. I said, say that again. And she repeated herself that in her own family, it is a must that everybody must have master's degree. I said, well, in my own family, what is a must is that everybody must discover the master's degree. That's your purpose for being on this earth and your vision, and then you pursue it. So on that ground, she started giving me some attitudes, and like she wanted to do what is called emotional blackmail to get me into a program. I was not in the season where I could live my vision. My vision was in a second, like in the nursery stage. I had people working with me to push the vision out of where it was. And then she was asking me to leave all of that and come into a classroom so that she can introduce me to her father. I said no. So based on that, we had a breakup. And I was prepared for that one because I saw the signs. And when she broke the relationship, her mentor was in London then, who was interacting with me and said, young man, you have a bright future. I can see what you are doing is an authentic vision from God. Just give her some time. She will come out of her childish behavior. I said, okay, if she does come out, fine. This was October. So I told myself, I'm going to wait for 2 months. If this lady does not come out of her of this emotional traffic situation she's in, I'm going to move on. So by December 31st year, she was still giving me all those body language. She wasn't picking I knew she still wanted to be in a relationship, but she just wanted to pull that stunt to get me to compromise. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing masters. I have nothing against anybody that wants to do master, but it was not the season for me to do that. And there's no scripture there's no grounds, there's no place in the Bible where it says that the quality of a good husband, one of the qualities of a good husband is that the man should have a master's degree.
Master's degree.
So you can't use such a temporary, ephemeral reason to make somebody decide to stay with you or that you are going out of a relation. That's not a red flag, you know. So by January 1st, I had done everything. In fact, what I'm going to share now, I did it in those 2 months. So I was ready for a new life. By January 4th of January, the following year, she reached out to me. She wanted us to come back to the relationship. But I had accelerated, I had moved on. So I moved on and I never looked back. And I thank God I never stayed. Because my father is a popular pastor in Nigeria. It looked like, oh, this relationship would give me a leverage, you know, to quickly accelerate my vision and all of that. But I'm not a lazy man. I'm not a lousy man. And I'm not a user. You know, those are not qualities that sit well with me. I want to walk my way up. And today, God is getting all the glory for my life. So those are 2 experiences that I've had. And there's one more, but I won't share that one now because some people might be watching that would know the particular person. And I don't want to, you know, make anybody look bad, though they made bad. Because
Wow.
how do you jump out? How do you jump out of the Purple Center into Lagos traffic?
Wow, you have actually dropped so many points with this story that you have shared. You know, like I said, me, student normally, I'm even writing down. So I think it's essential that we all take all these points down. That you don't need to stay where you have been tolerated, but where you have been celebrated. You don't need to have a master's degree to have a good marriage.
Very crucial.
Because this our generation now. I think we're getting. But let's leave that for that. Okay, could you share practical steps somebody can actually take to just move on? Because you mentioned that between 2 months or each particular time, you have already put some things in place. So what were those things that you were doing, or like practicals you can share to anyone that is watching now, and they can use actually to move on?
Okay, so if you have had a breakup and you're watching this video right now, or you get to watch this at a future time on Ifunanya or on Dr. Ifunanya's handle, I have an acronym for you that spells the word heal up. So you can write it down, HEAL, up, heal up, since that's our focus today, right? So how do you heal up after a breakup? Letter H stands for hospitalize your emotions. Hospitalize your emotions. Take your emotions to the hospital, right? So what does that mean? A breakup is pain. A breakup is going to hurt you emotionally. Now, you are a spirit being. You have a soul and you live in a body. So let me illustrate that with 3 bottles here. So this is a bottle. If this is your spirit, you have a soul and then you live in a body, right? This part of you, this is where we see you interact with this part. This is your body. But when you have a breakup, this is where the problem is. And this is in between your spirit. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So your soul, your emotions is in between your spirit and your body. So I'm saying these emotions now, you need to hospitalize it. You need to write down what you are feeling. That's the first practical thing you have to do, because there are various types of emotions. Some people will feel anger based on their levels of investment in the relationship that went bad, right? So if you invested money, like if you're a woman, you're not supposed to be giving money to a man that you're in a relationship with, because the man is supposed to be the provider. He's the initiator of the relationship. And anything you initiate, you are supposed to nurture it. All right. So if you're a woman as well, you ought not to give your body to a man yet until he's married to you. So there are different levels of investment people make when they are in love. Some of them are stupid. Some of them are not. Some of them are not thoughtful. Some people don't think through. So these emotions now, if you have a headache, you won't take your head to a barber. Like, I have a headache. You won't take your head to a mechanic. You will go meet either a pharmacist or a doctor. So if you have an emotional problem, you should go and speak to a therapist or a counselor. That's what I mean by hospitalize your emotions. But you have to be able to diagnose what you are feeling. Is it anger? Is it regret? Are you feeling loss? Because if there's a particular relationship I did not talk about. I invested ₦500,000 naira to register this particular lady's business as well. You know, God blessed me with ₦1,000,000 naira at that time. And being a good lover, a good groom, I said, well, this lady is in a committed relationship with me. We're talking about marriage. Let me show her in advance what I will do when we get married. So I split the money into two, registered her business, set it up. This Evolve Masterclass that you attended, I've been doing it for a long time. Set up her business, got her started, and she started her own outfit, and we had a breakup. But we're using the same office space. So we had things like so when we had to break up, she had to move out of my space. She had to move out of my life. Everything we're doing together, we had to quickly call it quits. But you see, me, I felt lost, like an investor who had lost money as well. So I was not just feeling. I was glad that the relationship ended because she was toxic. She was carrying a venom called bitterness. She was bitter from her past. She was broken from where she was coming from. That's what I talked about. Her father left her mother when she was the age of 2. She was raped at the age of 12. She had a child that was 8 years old at that time. So she had a lot of baggage from where she was coming from. And here I was trying to be Mr. Fixer. I was trying to fix. So there was too much weight that she was carrying. So she was not even supposed to be in a relationship at all. So I felt the loss of my money is gone. I felt relief. I felt relief that the relationship ended, but I was also battered emotionally. So I had to list out everything I was feeling. That's number one. Letter E, evaluate objectively what you did wrong. You have to evaluate objectively by asking the right questions. How did I meet this person? How did I allow this person so much space into my heart within a short? There's a movie also called Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious. Some people you meet somebody on Monday, on Tuesday you're already in a relationship. By the weekend, you're already spending the night in their house. That's just dumb, plain being stupid. If you're a woman, you should never even cohabit with somebody you are not married to, because I speak from God's standard, and I will not hide the truth. So living together is a no-no. For a woman, giving a man money in the name of love is a no-no. Don't try it. Don't do it. There are very sharp Lagos boys now who do that. There are some guys, that's their daytime job, milking women who are very gullible, So evaluate what you did wrong. There are some people who lower their standards when they meet people that look like potential partners. You now begin to lower your standards. You say, oh, let me not, if I keep this standard too high, this guy might go away, or this lady might just, she might. And because we seem to have this, where a lot of people are insecure. You're also checking the clock, your biological clock, and you are just 22. You're saying, oh, time is running out. Time is running out. Will someone else date me? Will I find another person that is this attractive, that is this put together? That fear of will I find someone else make a lot of people get into relationships that is bound to break up. So you can even totally avoid the breakup. Somewhere in Proverbs, it says a wise person sees trouble ahead and avoids it altogether. So evaluate objectively what you did wrong. Letter A, accept responsibility for your actions or inactions. As long as you are blaming the other person mentally, you don't say it out, but you are mentally blaming the other person. Oh, she just ditched me for another guy, or he just broke my heart like that. He didn't break your heart. You set your heart up to be broken. You gave the person permission to break your heart. You were the one that went on the first date with your 2 legs. The person did not put a gun to your head. You were the one that picked the phone calls. He was calling you at 12 midnight. You were sleeping. You picked the call, say hello. Say, why are you talking with your bedroom voice? Say, I'm just feeling that. Then you began to speak to him at unholy hours. You must trace back how it all started. What you
you have to.
How you used to pick his calls during church. Church is going on. How you began to miss fellowship because of this guy. How you began to stab your prayer time because of this guy. There was a time I was in a relationship with, I think that pastor's daughter that I was talking about. Then one of the networks in Nigeria then used to do what is called midnight call. That's free calls from 12:30 to 4:30 a.m. That's close to 4 hours of talk time. 4 hours talking to one human being. And you're not discussing on how to save the world. I'm just saying, it's just sweet nonsense. How was your day? Fine. What color of shirt are you? Things that just keep 2 immobile people immobile. When you are on fire, when you have a vision that is burning in your heart, when you find God's purpose for your life and you are pursuing that purpose actively, you will not have time to waste time. You won't have the liberty of spending 4 hours talking nothing productive. But here I was compromising on my value system. You've not spent 1 full hour talking with God, but you can spend 2 hours, 3 hours having video call with this guy in Canada or and it just gives us that emotional goosebumps, and then we get to take our head on a journey that our heart has embarked on. So a lot of times we don't accept responsibility for the actions that we also contributed that brought about that breakup, right? So if the person disrespected you on the first date, you allowed it slide. You saw the person shouting at the conductor or the Okada man or at the person that opened the door, and you said, no, they are just angry because of how the person spoke to me. Now let me quickly say this. Please, you can type this or write it down. It is said, date the action, marry the reaction. Date the action, marry the reaction. What does that mean? You go out with a guy, he's wearing his tuxedo suit, he looks very suitable, he looks well groomed, his perfume announces him from 100 meters out. He even came with 4 legs. He came in 4 legs, Lexus. You didn't say yes to the guy that has 2 legs. You like the guy that comes with Lexus, not this one that is leg us. The one that does not have a car. So everything about this guy looks like a suitable husband. But he takes you out, you get to the restaurant, and then he shouts at the guy at the door because the guy wasted just 2 seconds to open the door. That's the reaction. Date the action, but check the reaction of the person to other people. He speaks down at the waitress because our English is not put together. That's somebody who you should run away from. But on that date, you will be so, oh wow, he's so protective of me. Look at how he's shouting at other people because of me. His mother is calling his phone. He's on a date with his mother. He picks the call. He disrespects his mother in front of you. And you say, oh, I love this guy. He has authority. He can talk down. So you see, all those signs are there, but a lot of ladies, they miss it out. They miss out on that because their eyes have been washed with Nollywood, Hollywood. They have watched too many movies where when a guy is in love, he tears his shirt, he breaks plates, he doesn't have self-control anymore, he bashes his car. You know, you see all those Fast and Furious movies, all those things they are setting you up to have a faulty expectation, a faulty foundation. So letter A, you accept responsibility. Now letter L, this is where the healing now begins to happen. You now learn how to forgive correctly. You learn how to forgive correctly. Now there are two people you must forgive when there's a breakup. The first person is you must forgive yourself. All right? You start by forgiving yourself because you see at this stage where you are writing out, you are evaluating what you did wrong, you begin to feel a lot of pain. That's soberness. When you practice self-reflection correctly, you must feel sorrow. If you don't feel that sorrow, then you are not yet on the journey to recovery. All right. So when you evaluate correctly, you will feel some soberness. You will feel some regret. In fact, the prodigal son, the Bible says, when he came to himself, he did some evaluation. You know, he was dating pigs. He was dining with pigs. And you cannot date a pig and not end up being stained because pigs enjoy death. That's their natural habitat. You know, you're already talking, your first date with a guy is already, he's trying to kiss you on your first date. He's trying to smoosh you on your first date. And you're saying, oh, it's just because he's very attracted to me. It's because I'm hot. Are you the son? You are not the son. You are not Lagos son. So, my dear sisters, it's like I'm talking more to women today, but it applies to guys as well, because there are some good guys that fall into the hands of very, very nasty young women. So now L stands for learn to forgive. So when you forgive yourself, you must also forgive the other person. Because if you don't forgive that person, if you don't let go of the offense in your heart towards them, you will not be able to receive a new blessing from God. So let me illustrate again. If your hand here, if your hand represents your heart, Dr. Ifunanya, please look up. I know you're writing, please look up. If your hand here represents your heart, and this is the offense, this is the breakup issue, you are holding on to it. I will not let go. I will not forgive this guy. I will not forgive this girl. You are holding on to it. Now, this item here is not very heavy, but the more I hold on to it, the heavier it will become. If I keep holding on to it, by tomorrow morning, my hands will be weighty. By next week, if I'm still holding on to this, if by 1 month, by 2 months, yes, then it will numb your heart. You will not be able to feel correctly, right? Now, when God now brings another person your way, a blessing comes your way. You want to receive, but you can't receive. There's no room because you have not forgiven the person. So I know the person hurt you, their actions hurt you, but you must now learn how to forgive correctly. How do you start the journey to true forgiveness? You start by doing what Jesus prescribed. So let's use the prescription of the master. He said, you must stand to pray. Say, pray for your enemies. And he also said, pray for those who despitefully used you. So if you feel you were used in the relationship, pray a blessing into. You don't need to call the person on the phone to pray for them. You don't need to send them the prayer. In your own closet, between you and your God, just empty your heart. Pray for the person. the way, as you begin to do that, you are letting life flow from you to that person. That life you are generating from within you, guess who is going to heal first? Is going to heal you first, right? So that's a practical scriptural step. You must learn to forgive correctly by praying for the person. And then another thing you must do is you must now love up on yourself. We are still on letter L.
Yeah.
How to forgive correctly, then love up on yourself. Can you take yourself out on a date? Nobody is there. Just dress up, spray your nice perfume, make your hair, and go and watch a movie all by yourself. Eat the popcorn all by yourself. Laugh out loud. Make sure you watch a comedy. If it's an action movie, laugh even when they hit the car. Just take yourself out and love on yourself. But you know, when the average lady has a breakup, she will not do her hair. There will be big balls on her head like this. You'll see dandruff, 2 years old dandruff on her hair. She won't do her makeup. She'll say, because I had a breakup, no makeup. So, you know, I'm being a bit excessively dramatic, but some women will just let themselves go. I almost fell into that trap. The last breakup experience I had, in fact, I've had 3 breakups before I met my wife, my favorita. So, you see, what Satan was after was not just me, was after my vision, was after my life's mission. The third one almost knocked me off balance. I almost quit my vision. I almost quit everything I was doing about the Purpose Center. In fact, I told God I'm not doing this vision again. Because the reason why she left, guess what? The reason why she got into a relationship with me to get married to me was because of the Purpose Center's vision. She said she loves the vision. Now, the reason why she was also leaving when she said she was not sure she was fit for me anymore was also the vision, because there was a challenge we had at that time. Now, even if you marry Bill Gates' son, right, or Dangote's son, you are going to face challenges in that relationship. You're going to face tests. There are some storms that money cannot solve, because there are a lot of poor people going around thinking once you have money, all your relationship problems are over. No. If you check the top 10 richest men in the world, statistics say 8 out of the top 10 richest men, they are divorced. Why did their wives leave them? They had all the money in the world, right? So money is important for relationships to survive, right? Money is important, but money is there's a teaching I have. It's called the 12 riches, the 12 riches of life. Money is number 12 in the order of priority. Money is the least important of the riches of life that every human being should have mastery over. But we over prioritize money. I've seen some marriages break up because of a lack of money, and I've seen some marriages become stronger because of a lack of money. And the two people came together to fight that lack and came into prosperity. But I've seen the same situation break some couples up, married couples now, not people dating, not people in courtship. All right. So you must now learn to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you are going to sell yourself short. You are going to go to that negotiation table and bring a less value than you truly have. You're going to tolerate nonsense. You know, I said to ladies, once respect is not being served anymore at the table, leave the table. Once the guy or the lady is not showing respect for your person, respect for your opinions, respect for your values, then you should not be in that relationship. Does not respect your time, does not respect the relationship you have with God. Anybody that does not respect your core values, you have no business going into a relationship with them. Does not if you have a vision for your life, that's what you should even use to judge who should be your friend, not even your potential spouse, right? You choose your friends based on your vision and your purpose, right? You must find you must find a purpose for life before you choose a partner for life. So if you don't have a strong sense of purpose and you make a relationship decision, the odds are that you have chosen somebody who is not even good for you. All right. So, letter U. We're on letter U, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Letter U, the principle here is you must now unlearn to learn about love, relationships, and marriage. You must unlearn to learn again. Don't assume you go. In fact, you must always mind what is on your mind. You must always mind what is on your mind. A lot of us, we grew up in dysfunctional homes. We grew up in homes where we just said, "Hey, let me use the local parlance, to fear. God forbid, I will never have my parents married." Right? You detest your parents married, but you are wired by God to want a relationship. Man was created for connection, not isolation. It was God that said it is not good for this man to be alone. So as human beings, there's a space in our being that yearns for connectivity with other human beings. But you see, if you do not first what's the word? If you do not analyze your mindset, if you are not aware of your belief system, some people do not even know what they believe. They're not aware of their core belief systems. It's during crisis. It's during for example, there are a lot of women who will still consider to marry a guy that is telling them, if you don't get pregnant for me before marriage, I'm not going to continue with this relationship. And that is the new bobo that some guys use to sleep with a girl. When they now sleep with her like 100 times, they will now say, I don't feel led to marry you again. Some Christian, sorry, you can't be a Christian and say that. Some guys that fake to be Christians even say that to ladies, and say, pastor already knows us together. And this is your 5th relationship. You have to make this work. And you see some ladies even consider that, and they will come and ask a pastor, a counselor, that what do you think I should do? The Bible is already clear. That's a fornicator, and there's no fun in fornication. So you have to unlearn to learn. That means go back to the basics. Go and learn the ABC principles of love, dating, and marriage from God's perspective. Go and read good books from good authors. I can recommend some. There's one that I will recommend for you to buy right now after this call, and it's called Violent Roses. Written by this great woman here, Violent Roses. Do you have a copy of it right there? Do you have a copy?
No, I don't have a copy.
All right. You can,
no, not yet.
Get it. You can get it on her bio.
By next week, you should be able to get it.
All right. From next week, that book will be available for you to read and unlearn to learn. So get Violent Roses. You can pre-order for 3,500 naira, but the launch date is February 11th, because we don't want you to have a heart attack because of a breakup. There's going to be a lot of breakups on February 15th. I already know, because it's every year. But we are doing this Instagram live just to make you avoid that breakup. So unlearn to learn the right things. Then letter P, which is the clincher for me, which is how you can accelerate the time of healing if you practice this letter P. This letter P is for me, is like the accelerator. When you get into your car, if you put your car in gear, if you don't step on that accelerator, the car won't move as fast as it should. Your healing, healing does not take time, because some people will say time will heal the wound. That's not true. That's not true. Some people had a breakup 10 years ago, and they are still feeling the pain as if it happened 10 minutes ago. Time does not heal wounds, especially emotional wounds. Reason being that you cannot see your emotions. If it's a physical wound, it can heal by default, even without you applying some medicine on it. But if it's an emotional wound, it's not time that heals it. It is wisdom and right actions that heal emotional wounds. So this letter P What does letter P mean? Are you ready for it? Drum rolls.
Yes, sir.
Letter P, prioritize, prioritize, and pursue God's purpose for your own life. Stop pursuing that lover that left you. Stop checking his Instagram status. Stop checking his WhatsApp status. Stop checking to see whether he has moved on to another babe on your street or another girl in your church. You know, some people, after a breakup, they now become monitoring spirits. They start monitoring the person that they start monitoring the person everywhere the person goes. In fact, some people, they will open a new social media account and start following their ex. They will open a new social media account, start following their ex. Ex about. Even in the dream, you are following your ex. Wake up and move on with your life. There's a purpose for your own life. Prioritize your purpose. Your purpose is the value God put inside you that you ought to find, discover, distribute to other human beings. If you don't find your purpose for life, you have no business looking for a partner for life. Your life will be boring without your purpose. Your life will be oozing stench if you are not purposeful. Purposeful people are productive people. A purposeful woman is more attractive than a seductive woman. I always say this way: a productive lady is more attractive than a seductive lady. There are some ladies, after a breakup, they now say, hey, see me, when I used to cover my cleavage, I cover my cleavage, he left me. Let me start dressing down. They become loose. They lose their value system. Some will start eating recklessly, so they will add on weight because a man left you. Sorry, because a mommy's boy left you, you are letting yourself go. Don't you know that you are the solution to a specific problem in the universe? Don't you know that there are billions of people whose lives still depend on you? Don't you know that when one bad person leaves, it is, I like to say it this way, when Saul was messing up, David was warming up. When Saul was messing up, David was warming up. And God's best is not in the past. So you have to prioritize your purpose again, and then you pursue it actively. You fill your mind with the thoughts of this, with the thoughts of what you are supposed to be doing on the earth. And you see, your purpose is your area of passion. Your purpose will ignite a certain passion in you that will heal you from the inside, because you can't give life to other people and death will be inside of you. You know, the reason why people begin to wither after a breakup is this: a breakup is like the death of something that was once giving life to them. You know, every time you looked at the text message that he sent to you or the chat, it makes you smile. In the middle of the day, you look at his picture, you look at that picture, it brings goosebumps, it brings smiles and all of that. And then suddenly, when you look at that picture, it reminds you of sorrow, reminds you of the statements he made. That is in the past. My dear sister, my dear brother, don't die before your time, right? Don't die before your time. Don't be alive as though you were dead.
Dead. Huh?
This earth to add meaningful value to other human beings. And guess what? On the path of adding value, on the path of distributing your purpose to other human beings, you will attract your Boaz. Ask Ruth. Ruth even lost a husband. It was not a breakup, but you see, our own pain was a greater dimension of pain than what you are experiencing. It was death that took her husband away, but she decided to follow the path of purpose and prioritizing God's purpose for her life. When you focus on God's focus for your life, soon he will make you the focus. She followed Naomi. She said, you know, I can't go back to Moab. Moab meant a place of deadness, a place where there's no life. You go and check the scriptures. And she said, I'm going to go back to you to Bethlehem. Bethlehem means the house of bread and the house of life. So go back into adding value. Go and engage yourself. You can even go and volunteer in a vision. Go and volunteer in a place where they are doing things to bless lives. Go to an orphanage and serve there. Go to your children's church and help children. Go to Go and help Lagos traffic get better. Go to the road. Go and do something that will add value. And while you are adding value, somebody will see you. Somebody will see you and recommend you. It might not even be for a relationship yet. You know, something positive will happen when you put yourself in a place where you can add value. Ruth got engaged on Boaz's field, and she was working. She became a workaholic. So don't turn your attention to alcohol. Don't become an alcoholic. Become a workaholic. Be productive. Don't become a seductress. Some ladies will say, because this guy broke my heart, I will become a seductress. I will seduce all the good men, then I will break their hearts. That's don't be on, yes, don't be on revenge mission. Don't be on revenge mission, my dear sister, right? Don't be on revenge mission. God will sort you out when he sees that you have sorted out your emotions, right? God will sort you when he sees that you have sorted out your emotional state. Because if you do not clean up, you won't grow up. And when you don't grow up, you will not be ready for another relationship. Because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life who you are. And who you were is what was responsible for your last breakup. So you need to transform yourself using these principles I just shared. Heal up so that you can love up again. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to.
Wow, I'm actually very speechless right now. Hey, Mr. Bo, we're supposed to turn this one to cost, so this session is not enough.
I'm available. Just give me, just create.
I cannot agree.
Wow.
Oh my God! Well, please, if you have been following, in fact, this is going to our YouTube page, and we have to break it. It's not something that we can just. Everybody needs to just take it down. There are so many practical steps that I truly believe if you follow this. Like one of the things he said was that it's wisdom and right actions that heal emotional wounds. Yes. I actually used to think that probably if you have time to take time and all this kind of things.
No.
But you've broken it down that wisdom and the right actions. In the process of doing your purpose, you'll be healing up. If you just stand, if you are stagnant. In fact, another thing I noticed that when you are being stagnant, you become a terrible person, because that's when devil will start throwing different things into your mind. It's actually very
bad vibes to if you're in customer care, you won't care about customers' issues because of somebody so you will give yourself a bad name in other relations.
The way it happens,
so
it's actually very funny.
Yeah. Continue, please. Continue.
Yeah, at that point, I feel devil will not start bringing people that look like person that offended you. Because there are people actions start acting in that line. You now start firing everybody that's like, this logo for 2024. No agree for anybody. You just wow, thank you so much.
There's a I think it's a parable from the eastern side of Nigeria, where you are from, that I can't say it in Igbo, but I once heard it from someone. He said, because you experienced a bad person, you once encountered a bad person, do you now decide to close you now close both eyes and you start walking about with your eyes closed? Now, how will you see when a good person is in front of you? Because of a bad person that, a bad person poked your eyes. So you say, I don't want anybody to poke my eyes again. Then you close your eyes. No. So you have to heal up, because God is still going to connect you with someone that will enhance your life. Once you commit to God's purpose on that path, I guarantee you 100%, there is a Boaz ahead of you, not a Bonzo.
Oh wow, thank you so much. Please, I hope we've all learned because of time, so that we don't keep you. Because like I said, this is not a small thing. this should be transformed, that we need to make it probably a 5-week course that you take you digest it every morning so that you come out stronger.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us, for joining the Almond Brand and our first session for the. As we have started this open door, I'm tapping it. That is how it's going to continue throughout this year.
Yeah.
Grace is just going to flow throughout the Almond Brand, because yes. I believe that everybody that joined this session could feel the anointing beyond just, they could feel the grace. Like I said it when we started, that it's beyond just heartbreak, that are going to receive more. And did I lie? I knew it. I just said it. It happened like that. So thank
You're
you
a
so
prophet.
much for joining us. Thank you so much. God bless you, sir. So good night, everybody. Good night. Make sure you watch. Make sure you follow Mr. Purpose International. We have so many things on ground at the Purpose Center. Yes. I'm part of the Purpose Center. So you have to join us, please. If you are going through heartbreak, this is the time you're supposed to join us at the Purpose Center.
Oh, yes.
Because when you're following God, like you said, when you're following God, find your purpose, everything will just work out. You will heal up. You will heal up. So, yes. So follow Mr. Purpose, follow the Purpose Center, and we'll see you next month at Chicago Center. So, good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye-bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Purpose.